Good morning, beautiful souls, and thank you for being here. Once again, this is the Existential Healer podcast. I am the Existential Healer, and I am here to bring you a collective message today. I'm just gonna get straight into it with what we're meant to hear, what we're meant to heard, what we're meant to hear today. Just what's Spirit trying to tell us right now? We've got 7 of Cups. Okay, there's a lot of things going on here. Okay, so we've got 7 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, and Princess of Cups, which, that alone, 7 of Cups is showing us rest and self-care, self-love, and Ace of Pentacles is showing us new ideas, new passions. 2 of Pentacles is showing us able to sort of balance the new ideas and also our self-care. And Princess of Cups is showing us being successful at all of this. Like, this is a very good right off the bat message. Yay for us. Give yourself a little pat on the back. And then we also have 9 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Star. Okay, so something about these new times coming into your life, or this new process, this new transition, is spiritual. The 9 of Wands is showing your spirit team and everyone showing up for you. As long as you're asking for them, they will be present. Allow yourself to see. The Chariot is also them pushing you to take steps forward, to move forward, and whatever it is that is kind of like this new passion for you. It's really exciting. And then it still shows your guardian angels just watching over you and making sure that you are successful. And the last card we got is the Star. So once again, success, evolution, ascension, like all good things, I want to point out little like visual things to be aware of. There's a lot of lotus flowers in the Ace of Pentacles. There's a lot of dragonflies in the 2 of Pentacles, butterflies in the Princess of Pentacles. I'm sorry, Princess of Cups. The 9 of Wands ties into Egyptology, and so maybe your patronage or your spirit guides have something to do with Egyptian gods and goddesses. Might be worth looking into. Though the Chariot kind of gives me Roman Empire, so maybe Greek gods. And then the Star has like a really cool boat on water in the back. So overall, basically you're just bossing up, and it's no longer like, if you're here and you're worried about what you need to do right, you're doing it right. Just existing is working for you. The fact that you are conscious and building your consciousness and building your intention is a really good sign, and that's what's allowing your guides to come in so close and work so close with you. But once again, I think that today's message is just talking about how successful you are in balancing the idea between doing something with your life and just experiencing your life. Because I think it's always good for us to have goals and ambition and you know, things that we want to accomplish in this life. But I think that understanding that our main purpose in being here in this life is experiencing whatever is in front of us. Whether that be good or bad, we chose certain obstacles before we incarnated. We chose certain obstacles for us to experience in order to progress in our spiritual ascension, okay? And a message is coming through for a few of you that you might be actually like on your last life, or on the life that determines whether or not you'll be a guide in the next life. So this is like a really powerful lifetime for you. This lifetime is teaching you all of the ins and outs, like the last few things you need to know before you become a guide or before you become a spiritual master, before you get to that next level. And that's why your life is so hard. Okay, and I feel comfortable saying that because everyone's life is hard in one way or another. But whatever you thought of when I said that's why your life is so hard, um, your spirit guides want you to come down to a grounded position and recognize what challenges are happening for you. And this can be as specific as abuse, as depression and anxiety, mental illness, physical illness, loss, heartbreak, grief, all of the things that we hate so much in life, that we avoid so much in life, or that we just don't seem to understand really in life. Those things are happening for us for a reason, and you are not the victim of anything. You are simply the student who is learning how to spiritually develop through these challenges, to say the least, okay? Bottom line though, you are a very spiritual person. You're very spiritually advanced when you're not incarnated in human form, which not everyone can say, you know what I mean? Your vibration is very, very high, and whether or not you feel like it is doesn't really matter, because again, you may have incarnated with certain disabilities, whether it be physical or mental. You might have certain disabilities in this lifetime to help you learn certain things. That doesn't, however connected you feel in this life, doesn't actually reflect how truly connected you are. So I think, if anything, bottom line, it's worth sort of developing and experimenting what who you are in spirit form, okay? So connecting more with your higher self, connecting more with your spirit team, with your soul. The more that we act out of heart and soul, the more things will make sense to us. And that's just sort of accepting the laws of life and nature, and you know, moving with peace and grace and harmony in our lives, no matter what comes our way, truly. As a follow-up card, we've got the Mystic Meadow. Okay, and it is number 26, and the card says Sanctuary. So I'm going to read this one from the book because I think I've read it before and it was really good. But beforehand, Sanctuary, we're just talking about, again, having somewhere to connect to that spiritual, having somewhere to make sense of it all, okay? And coping with life in ways that are transmuting whatever negative experiences we're having into positive or constructive spiritual lessons. Okay, so the creatures and mystical beings of the forest know that the meadow at the center of the woods is a safe space where one can truly relax and feel comforted. When you step into the luminous meadow, it's not uncommon to see animals such as deer curled up alongside sleeping bears. Foxes and rabbits lounge side by side. Unicorns, fairies, and elves all gather in the mystic meadow. You feel relaxed, healthy, and clear. I want to remind you too that this Mystic Meadow fell right underneath the Seven of Cups, which was the first card we got, it's basically showing a bathhouse of true self-nourishment. It's not just pampering ourselves to feel better. It's not materialistic self-care. It's internal, deep self-care. This card appears as a reminder to replenish your inner resources. Yes, it's time to renew your energy and make tending to your own needs a priority. Practice extreme self-care. Protect yourself from less than positive influences in your life. Okay, so another thing about incarnating into this life with trauma and experiencing trauma, sometimes our souls need to learn boundaries, and so we get into relationships, whether it be paternal, like familial relationships, platonic, or romantic, they can all sort of push certain things out of us without us noticing. And so some of those traumatic relationships might be helping you develop boundaries and might be helping you develop the ability to put yourself as a priority and take care of yourself and understand the balance in taking care of yourself and taking care of others, okay? I'm getting that we all have a little bit of a people-pleasing tendency if you're here today. You know, it's hard not to, okay, especially when you've grown up with trauma. But again, understanding the soul lessons behind all of it can really help with forgiveness and compassion. So continuing the book, it says the message here is to take shelter, retreat into your home, or spend time in places and with people where you feel at home. Mend physical objects, organize your possessions, and heal relationships. There is possibility of a huge spurt of energy in the future, but unless you take this time to create foundations and nourish yourself, you might be overwhelmed by it all and miss the opportunities available to you later. This card can also mean that blooming and expansion are at hand. Flowering success awaits you. Healing energy is growing and beautiful things are to come. Again, this is number 26 or number 8, and there's a white rabbit, a bear, and a fox on the card. So I just like talking about the details for the people who don't watch on YouTube, because messages can come in all kinds of ways. So if you're getting one or two of these things in repeating fashion, it might be a direct message for you in one way or another. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to keep going and see some of our shadow aspects with this self-care and acceptance of self-care, self-nourishment. Excuse me, I'm sorry I keep clearing my throat today. I just did a podcast episode on extreme self-nourishment not too long ago, so if you're interested, you can definitely check out that episode as well if you feel drawn to it. I really need to get rid of that habit. Okay, so interesting. We've got number 8 and number 11, Eunoia and Flashover. Eunoia says everything is in perfect balance, okay? And then Flashover says it's all in your head. And with Flashover, I just want to mention the all in your head piece. This is not discounting your experience and saying that you're making it all up. It is technically just saying to you that you have the power to change any perspective you hold, any frustration you hold, any anger, fear, shame, or guilt. That all exists within your head. All of your emotions, all of your attachments, they all exist within your head. So with that being said, you have the key to the kingdom. You can change your perspective. You can transmute your anger, shame, guilt, fear, jealousy, all of that into things that are truly constructive for you. So it's a really encouraging message, and recognizing the power you do have in your own perspective can bring a lot of freedom to what you're experiencing. And I feel like I repeat this message a lot, but that's just how much we need to hear it. This is a really important message for us to accept. And then Eunoia, I'm going to read Eunoia, I don't think I'm saying that right, out of the book. Okay, so everything in perfect balance. It says the girl of Eunoia is the embodiment of beautiful thinking. Her crown of thorns and leaves indicates that she understands through her journeys of pleasure and pain that she is ultimately free. Everything is in perfect balance as her soul takes flight. The moon halo around her head signifies a healthy mind, emotionally balanced, rational in all its highs and lows. The death card of the traditional tarot deck is Eunoia's sister card. When Eunoia appears, it is a sign of current or impending endings and ensuing inevitable rebirth. Okay, that's super exciting. As the overall message for today being rebirth, seeing us transition from the Seven of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles to the Princess of Cups, and also being carried through on the chariot to the Star, This is ultimate rebirth. This is a rebirth of perspective, a rebirth of soul and your connection to your soul family, and your soul guides. This is like what I was saying before with the changing, what something might be coming into your life. It's literally your entire life is going to be reborn into a new perspective and new joy, new just pure existence and freedom, and the freedom to enjoy your life. That's the exciting part, okay? Mortal contemplation is a spiritual practice that has the potential to heal, instruct, and connect us to the source of our being. The practice of contemplating our own death is healthy and essential in order to die meaningfully and mindfully. There is only one thing equally magnificent to our death, and that is our birth. Both are grand gateways to the source of all creation. Everything in life, good and bad, has a beginning, middle, and end. Graciously allow things to pass and merge into the universal cauldron of creation for your rebirth. If this is a hard message to hear and connect to, I would once again recommend reading The Wisdom of Souls. It's based on the work of Dr. Michael Newton, and I will tag it below, but it basically talks about the reasonings behind, once again, loss, death, fear, mental illness, physical illness, death. It's just really empowering to understand that our souls want us to experience certain things, especially when it comes to our trauma. It's much easier to move out of the victim mindset and into the mindset that I chose this for my soul's evolution. Now it's time to evolve and time to be reborn, and it's time to be conscious. Because I will tell you now, if you're here and listening to this message and these are your cards, your life is not going to look like everyone else's, okay? You are going to be living a very different life. And it's not even that it's going to look different, it's going to feel different. Your life will be based in joy and compassion and understanding of the entire process. If death is a hard thing for you to contemplate, I understand you, because that's been an issue for me for my whole entire life. I lost my grandfather when I was 9 years old, and the adults in my life didn't really help me understand it in a spiritual way. I just saw him physically leave. So I wasn't able to really process for a very long time. And so just now, as an adult, learning about all of these deep understandings and deep understandings about life and death itself, I'm able to meet my own death with a new attitude, where before I would usually spiral into an anxiety attack. Now I can come to it with a pretty mellow, like level-headed acceptance and understanding, and it's a growing pain. Like it's an evolving perspective, don't get me wrong, but that's the whole point, is that it is evolving. I had to experience death in that way so that I could learn in this way and eventually see the constructive side of it. And now with my parents being, my dad being sick, or just people close to me who are meeting their untimely deaths, I am able to see it in a new light and not suffer so much from it personally. And I'm also able to help the people who are experiencing death or illness to also see their illnesses in new lights and also not suffer as much. So, I forget what I was saying, but everything is in perfect balance. There's a reason for everything, and it's worth finding that reason instead of saying, why God, why this, why would you do this to me? Like, however you express your anger to the universe when you feel like you've been shortchanged, it's worth understanding why it's happening for you, okay, and what your soul aims to get out of it, okay? And that's within heartbreak. Again, it could be the smallest amount of pain. It doesn't even have to be losing someone that's close to you. It could be stubbing your toe, and you can say, why why did this happen to me? And I guarantee you that there's always a reason for everything. And I mean that in the way of you are a spiritual person who is here for spiritual lessons. Don't allow yourself to cut yourself short and think that anyone or anything in the spirit world has it out for you. Because again, this perspective just frees your mind to understand things in a new way and in a freeing way, in a way that won't hold you back or keep you in that victim mindset. I'm gonna do just one more little abundance card. Just lasting messages for you today. We'll cut it short early, but let's see what Spirit has to say as far as advice, good fortune, etc. Okay. Alright, so the cards that we got are Awakening, Trust, and Right Action. Awakening has a beautiful, looks like Hindu goddess and a white cow, and a woman just laying in the grass next to them, sort of embracing whatever it is that they're giving to her. And the quote says, "Oh my Lord, wake me from life as a spiritual sheep. May I hear you through my own instincts and common sense." So this is really cool because it ties back into the Nine of Wands and the Chariot and your spirit team being able to come through for you and guide you, and not only on their part but on your part being open to their messages and being open to receiving their guidance. Yeah, this is really exciting for you because once again you're just being told that you're awakening to your rebirth. Like it doesn't have to be this, oh, I'm so confused, I don't know what's going on with my life anymore. It can be a conscious, I know that this is happening for a reason, and with that knowledge I choose to be free from suffering. I choose to enjoy my life no matter what it looks like. Okay. Trust. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you to know exactly how to handle them. Okay, so once again, trusting that the universe is doing everything for a reason, for you, for your evolution, is freeing. I can't just keep repeating myself. It just frees you up from thinking that you're suffering because of someone else's mistakes. There's also, in the book that I'm reading, there's also cases where people are the abusers in some lifetimes, and though the ultimate challenge is to break free of that mindset, they are meant to be the abuser, so in the next life they can be the abused and they can understand both sides of it. And once again, it's the soul's evolution. And on the other hand, there's just souls that exist at a lower frequency, at a lower vibration, and it's harder for them to break free of that, and that is not your responsibility. Whoever caused the trauma in your life, though forgiveness will always be helpful for you, fixing them and